me a little bit more about the science behind the sleep, the importance of sleep.
Yeah, absolutely. So one of the things I say is sleep is not just a cure for sleepiness. We don't just sleep because the day is ended. And really looking from top to bottom, every organ system pretty much is impacted by sleep. And starting from up top, we talk about even just the cleansing function of sleep. So there is a system in our brains called the lymphatic system. So G lymphatic system. So similar to our lymphatic system. And what this really does is it helps with cleansing deposits that kind of accumulate in our brains over the course of prolonged wakefulness, over the course of the day. So thinking of it as kind of like the brain's plumbing system. And actually, some of these deposits include things like amyloid beta, which have been associated with diseases like Alzheimer's. So over time, these deposits have to go. So we need to get rid of them. When we talk about sleep, most people feel that during sleep, there's just period of quiet and rest and quiescence. It turns out your brain is quite active when you sleep, really doing that. And in addition to that, sleep is important for our memory. And a lot of studies have shown that as well. Our executive function, our creativity. And really the way this is that we go through different cycles of sleep. Mm-hmm. And while the absolute functions are not well known, there have clearly been studies that have looked at if you deprive someone of slow wave sleep, what happens? Mm-hmm. So really in slow wave sleep, that's when we get rest and restoration and recovery and regulation of our immune system. You get hormone regulation. And so things like growth hormone, for example, in children is really produced during slow wave sleep. And then in REM sleep, we talk about creativity and emotion regulation and things like that. So it all works together. And so that's why when people ask things like, oh, what's the best time? If you're going to shortchange yourself of sleep, which one should it be, earlier or later? And the answer is no. Both play a role in really helping us to be our healthier selves. And then, of course, the consequences, even on our heart health, sleep deprivation has been associated with increased risk of hypertension and cardiac arrest and strokes and things like that. So really, really spanning the entire system, I would say sleep is beneficial and has deleterious consequences when we don't get enough of it.
So is there a definition for sleep deprivation?
So really, when we talk about sleep deprivation, there are things like sleep deprivation, insufficient sleep, and really when you have periods of like acute sleep deprivation, even right away, you start to tell, even if you miss one night of sleep, of good sleep, you can already tell that something is going to feel unwell. So you already have that. But over time, when you talk about sleep deprivation, you're talking about the impact or decrease in either sleep quality or sleep quantity. Mm-hmm. So not just focusing on quantity, because a lot of times we do try to get those ideal 7 to 9 hours of sleep and all, but beyond that, there are other facets to sleep that can actually deprive us. So you may be getting the 7 or 9 hours of sleep, but if it's not continuous sleep, because there's some kind of underlying disorder, you can actually be sleep deprived.
For us, by us, and just for us, this is Hope for Med.